C10 Talk, episode 151. From the hit Discovery show Fast and Loud, Mr. Fast and Loud, the lead monkey, Gas Monkey Garage's own Richard Rawlings.
But I gotta tell you, I love the haters. Reading some of their shit is so funny. It like cracks me up.
Damn, son. C10 Nation, are you looking to upgrade your power plant? Are you thinking about going with an LS or an LT-based motor? If you are, PSI Conversions is your go-to for your wiring harness needs. psiconversions.com/C10 Talk. Whether you're looking to replace your original steering, update those old brakes, or improve your suspension and handling, Classic Performance Products has got your classic truck covered. You can save 10% by using code C10TALK at checkout. 10%. ClassicPerform.com. When it comes to upgrading your truck's gauges, look no further than Dakota Digital and their wide selection of direct fit instrument systems. Hit up dakotadigital.com for more information. If you're looking for aftermarket parts for your C10 truck, Pro Performance is your go-to source. They carry the top brands for wheels, brakes, suspension, and accessories. Check them out on the web at azproperformance.com. That's azproperformance.com.
Welcome to C10 Talk, your C10 Truck podcast. Here's your host, Ronnie Welch.
Listen up! What up, what up? Episode 151, getting after it. Just getting back in the saddle. Had a little break off, and kids were off. They get off school. Out here in AZ, kids get like a week or two off in the fall, which is pretty nice. So headed out to Cali, little beach time, and we're grinding it pretty hard with Orange Slice, so it was a fun little 4 or 5 dayer to get away. But now I'm gonna bust some ass and get you some Richard Rawlings. So it's pretty cool. Richard's, dude, love him or hate him, the guy has always been super cool to me. Really, always. And even going out a few years back, hooking up with Aaron and Jonathan and the whole gang, and Richard was always cool with me. So it was pretty cool that when he bought Yellowstone, I was like, dude, let's record some pod. He's like, no problem. And took the time to do it. So gracious with his time. The dude is entertaining. I get people are like, oh, this guy, this and that. It's like, dude, the dude is entertaining. The guy is, he's a hustler. He's polarizing. And I think he's great for TV because it's fun to watch it. I think sometimes, I don't know, sometimes did we figure out like Scooby-Doo? I mean, we knew what the hell was going to happen every time. Sure, it's hard. They've been on TV a long time. But say what you will. Always been good to me, and I'm glad that he took time to sit down with us, the nation, to talk, and he was brutally honest. So I think you'll really enjoy the episode. I had a good time hanging out with him, and literally a few, virtual beers because we were cracking beers left and right, and you'll see that. So they've been hustling over there. Check out their social media, Richard Rawlings and or his Gas Monkey social media. They did OBS Build in 1 week. His guys kicked some serious ass. They took in a real nice 91 low mile truck, tore it down, built it back up, and it's cool because they painted it one solid color, kind of gave it a little 90s blue, and I think they did a good job. So you can check that out on social media. They went live, they did a ton of stuff, and then they took that footage and they made a YouTube video out of it. I haven't finished the YouTube. I started it, but because I'd already seen so much social media, I kind of already knew what was going to happen. So I haven't finished it. I don't know if I will, but a lot of options for you guys out there to check out. So check out Gas Monkey, check out Richard's social media, and you can see that. The paint thing will be interesting because when the 88 to 98s come back, they're currently coming back right now. The paint will be part of it because you don't see a lot of really well painted trucks that that are still alive or from factory because that clear rots. I've got an 88 out here, factory paint, and it's struggling because the clear is just falling apart off of it, and that's what happens, especially here in Arizona. I'm assuming back east you get the rust, you get the shitty paint, the clear. So that'll be a good segue for me to get onto a paint episode. I'm supposed to hook up with Kevin Teets, I think it is. He was Stacy David's co-host, I guess, from Trucks back in the day. He's also building a C10 right now. we've went back and forth on scheduling to try to get him on the pod, but that'll be a good one for paint to bring up the OBS trucks and kind of that evolution of paint and what we'll see here from a few guys and some things that I know that are going to happen at SEMA 2019. I think you'll be digging it because there's some paint, some trucks that's going to come out, and it's going to be rad shit. So think rad trucks, think OBS and rad paint. And that's what we're going to see. So I look forward to SEMA. Speaking of SEMA, we've got some shows to talk about. So what do we got here? We got October, just kind of rolling right along. October 18th through the 20th, Last Resort. That's in Louisiana. That's Louisiana Oil and Gas State Park, and that's in Jennings, Louisiana. Then we've got in the Carolinas, we've got both North and South Carolina on October 26th. North Carolina is doing their C10 Fall Revival. C10 Fall Revival. Get on their social media. They made a page at C10 Fall Revival. And then the South Carolina folks have their Upstate South Carolina GM Truck Club. I think it's like their 9th meeting. I know Brian Allen does some stuff with that. That's also on the 26th. So North Carolina, Fall Revival. South Carolina is going to be their fall picnic, really. And I think it's like their 9th time they've done it. So kind of ironic that the North and the South, and they're having the same day, but hopefully they'll figure that out in the future and maybe not have them on the same time, or maybe it'll be, I don't know, Civil War again, something like that. Turn it into something cool, guys. So then we're going to be hitting SEMA. So SEMA, obviously, all week, and going back to some of the things, some of the trucks I know that are going to be there are going to be absolutely killer. Looking forward to that. C10 Nation Day will be Thursday in UPI's booth and Central Hall, 11 o'clock. So Roll Purple has, pretty much hosted that and put that on the last 4 years. This year they didn't have a C10. Thank you, Roll Purple, for all your continued support. And I just said, dude, let's switch it up. You're not going to have a C10. Let me talk to UP, United Pacific. Johnny and Kyle's truck is in there, and let's see what happens. So they were cool with that, and UP was elated because we're going to do a little C10 Nation Day on Thursday, the whatever the hell that is. I think it's the 7th or the 9th. Let me look. And come on by, grab a shirt. We'll chat it up. Yeah, it's the 7th. So on the 7th at 11 o'clock, Central Hall, United Pacific. I'll post up the actual number because I don't have it written down right now. Then post SEMA, we'll be over at the Get Down, Chevy only, Dino's Get Down, and this is the 9th year. Now, what they're going to do this year, it's in a new location. So the best thing I can tell you is go to the website. They've got a website set up. If you have any questions, you're thinking about going, I believe the host hotel, like the Renaissance, is already sold out, but there's plenty of hotels around that area because it is an entertainment district. It's a huge area. There's going to be tons of room for parking and vendors and a lot going on. It's going to be a good time. And that website is dinosgetdown.com. So common spelling, really. Well, the Get Down is G-I-T. So DINOSGITDOWN.com. Richard, if you take the time to listen to this show, because it's your show, come to the Get Down, dude. You'll have a good time. I promise you. Now, you guys need to remember this is a 3-day event. So remember the Thursday mixer over at Trey Fi's Garage, up the road from where the Get Down is going to be at. Friday is the Get Down, and then Saturday there's a cruise from the host hotel, from essentially where the Get Down will be. We'll all meet up and we'll cruise out to Cess. I pulled it up. It's literally like exactly 30 miles. So it's a cruise 30 miles from Phoenix, Glendale, where the Cardinals stay. It's all a freeway cruise, and we're literally going to take like the 101 to the 10 to a different 101, and we'll get off and be right at Cess. So that's going to be Saturday. That'll probably take us to mid-afternoon on Saturday. Remember, Good Guys is that weekend, so Good Guys is Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. If any time you want to head over to Good Guys, you can head up to Good Guys. We can cruise around. We can go for drives. I mean, we got great weather, rad trucks, rad people, and a lot of time. So they're also going to have a little after night party on both. Obviously, there'll probably be something after the Get Down people will be meeting and greeting and eating and everything because the facility holds that much stuff. But then on Saturday, I think they're thinking about having something that night as well. So we'll keep you abreast to what's going on there. I think she said Krista said it was like to be determined. So I don't have an actual, like, normally it's been Twin Peaks. They don't have that nailed down for Saturday night. But November 15th, the 9th annual Get Down. Good times ahead. Let's hit some reviews real quick and get you guys over to Richard. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? Okay, I left off right here. Keep It Coming, 5 stars by 255N5. 255N5. Always entertaining, informative. Thank you. I'm new to this world, but it makes it a lot easier to build a truck with the information from around the country and leads on quality vendors. Appreciate the hard work, boys. You got it, brother. I'm digging the vendor part. Remember to support those that support the pod. So that's cool, dude. Thank you. Keep it coming, 5 stars.
5 stars, perfect. Thank you.
Let's see another one here. Great show, 5 stars by Duh Ratman. Great job, Ronnie. Appreciate all that you do. Vern. That's Vern from Texas. Thank you, Vern. Always supportive. Love that guy. 5 stars.
5 stars, perfect. Thank you.
Another one. Ronnie killing it. 5 stars by Tony, C10 Intervention. Aw, thanks, Tony. That's C10 Sacramento Mayor. Listen to the Roadkill episode. Very cool. Kind of gives you an idea how old this is. This is April, so yeah, a little over a year ago. I just got into the Roadkill show on TV. I didn't realize there was such a good TV on YouTube. Now for the automotive appraisal show. Interesting to see how the insurance companies rate and value our trucks. Keep up the great work, Ronnie. Keep us informed. Tony, C10 Club Sacramento. 5 stars. Thanks, Tony. Appreciate you leaving the review, brother.
5 stars. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, one more. Awesome listening. 5 stars by the one and only Mr. Trey 5 himself. Kind of ironic that we're just talking about his mixer. So their mixer, again, is on Thursday. Thank you, Jeremy, for leaving the review. Awesome listening. 5 stars. Always a great show. Ronnie does a great job of interviewing and also interacting with the guests. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. 5 stars.
5 stars. Perfect. Thank you.
If you guys would, please take the time to like the pod, share the pod, and subscribe to the pod, especially if we're getting some new listeners over from Richard Rawlings or the Gas Monkey world. Please take the time to subscribe and leave us a review. It's important for us to get these reviews and hear from the C10 Nation and anybody who's listening out there. So if you got something to say, hit me up and drop a little review if you can. Subscribe, like, and leave a review. I appreciate it. It'd be interesting to see what all shakes out on the horizon for Richard and the Gas Monkey, Fast and Loud, and everything going on over there. A lot of things, a lot of moving parts. The dude will always hustle and always be entertaining. So, Richard, thanks again for your time. I appreciate it. Until next week, I'm out. Late. All right. I tell you what, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's about beer 30. Richard Rawlings, Gas Monkey Garage. Is it beer 30?
Well, let me tell you how to say that.
Well, hold on then, because I wanted to make sure that for this interview, because you told me that. So I got a little cooler here because I'm not right next to the fridge. So let's do a little. Oh yeah.
There you go. Every time you hear that sound, you got to do another one.
You got to bring it in. I think we need to get this started, Richard. We need get you some of that. So what do you got? You got a little of that?
A little bit of whoa! Get you some of that.
Oh my God, the money shot. Richard Rawlings, probably one of the most polarizing guys on TV, and beyond honored to have you on, brother. I think you got a lot going on, moving and shaking. And, we talked a couple weeks ago, came up to the shop and started off with, I can literally remember sitting down and watching the show, I don't know, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. And we're like, what is this Gas Monkey thing? And you've built a brand, you've built... In the last 8 years, you've built a huge brand, a brand that a generation knows and will carry through for essentially, I mean, I hate to compare it to something like this. I don't know how you feel about this, but it's the Dukes of Hazzard for me. I mean, growing up in the 80s, it's that high of a level of a brand. And I think you're actually on more, consecutive years than even the Dukes it was. So pretty rad ass shit, dude.
Well, I'm very blessed and humbled to be where I'm at for sure, man. It's been a crazy ride. A lot of people think is a overnight success, but I started with this Gas Monkey thing and the idea of hopefully maybe one day getting into TV back in 2004. So it took me 8 years to get the TV show idea sold because the networks just didn't understand that you could build a car just as easy as you could build a motorcycle.
Yeah, and the motorcycle was the hot thing, right? I mean, you had the OCC guys doing their thing. TV was where we were just all getting sucked in, and the drama, and Paul Sr. and Paul Jr., and then all of a sudden, here comes Gas Monkey.
Yeah. I was beating down the doors, though, for 8 years trying to get in, and they weren't having it. And then finally one day they decided to throw me a bone.
I heard that at one point, like, you told Aaron, you're like, you got to give me one more shot. We got the sizzle reel. We got to send it. We're going to do it one more time. Was it one of those stories where you send it 4 times and finally the 5th time it took and you're like, shit, we're doing it, man. We got to kill it. Let's do it.
Yeah, it really was. He worked with me from day one, and he thought I was crazy. When I told him what I was going to do, that I wanted to, build a shop, build a brand, and get out there and build some cars and show the people what we were all about, and hopefully get popular enough that we'd earn some street cred enough to get on TV. He's like, looked at me and goes, well, yeah, that's cool and all, but what's it pay? And so I gave him a heads up, and off we went, man. And we traveled across this great country ours many, many, many times in that truck and rig and what have you, hawking some T-shirts and just trying to make a living out of it.
Yeah, and you have, and it obviously worked. So do you ever sit back and think, like, I literally have built not an empire by any means, but from a marketing perspective, you've got, a monster truck, you've got energy drinks, you've got the TV show, you've got restaurants, you've got a lot of things going on, and you've built that. And that's, essentially single-handedly, it's amazing in 10 years what you've been able to do.
Like I said, I'm very blessed and humbled to be where I'm at. And, I do sit back and people ask me all the time, and they're like, well, did you ever think? And I'm like, well, yeah, it was kind of the idea when I started out. This is what I was aiming for, but it was the trials and tribulations that I did coming on up through it that I didn't realize. I was like, oh, yeah, I just do this. And then you learn that part of it, and then the next step is even harder and harder and harder. So I know a lot about a lot of businesses now that I didn't know that I'd ever have to learn. But, I'm most proud of, where we've gotten Gas Monkey to. And then, like every entrepreneur, this isn't the end of the road. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, we're just running down the path, and we're going to keep going.
Yeah, I'm sure along the lines you've said, trials and tribulations and things that you've had, things that you thought would be, oh, that'll be so easy. And then whether it's the network, whether it's the marketing, whatever it is, people push back and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is hard. You would think that the smartest decision in the world, and then when you're dealing with what I call the cubicle pirates, which I guess we'd call them the network, they all got jobs, and to them it's just a job they're trying to protect, and I'm out here trying to build a brand. So it's very hard to sometimes get everybody seeing on the same path.
What would you say is the hardest part that you've had to deal with, for Gas Monkey, for Fast and Loud?
Well, for Gas Monkey, it was always capital. It was always sell a car, make a car, buy a car. It was scrambling every single day just to pay the rent and the light bills, with the goal of building this brand that hopefully, one day would pay off. And it took a good 4 years after television started before, it really turned around and I could say, okay, now there's some money coming back, because you can't just get a TV show and not put every single thing you got into it. You have to. I mean, every dime you can borrow and steal and beg for, you got to throw it back in.
Yeah. Was there a time at the beginning where were you stressed? Were you thinking, shit, man, we just finally got traction, and now all of a sudden we're running into this, we're running into that, and it's not going quite the way you thought?
Oh, yeah, there was a few times. I mean, I got all the way to the top of the ladder a couple of times at Discovery, and it looked like we were going to get a show. Hell, I think I even had a party one time because I thought we finally got it done, and sure enough, management changed or something changed, and it's like chutes and ladders. You're all the way right back down to the bottom. And like I said before, I mean, I went completely broke twice in my life. Sleeping on a sister's couch can't make rent, but you want to have a serious, what I guess I'd say, come to Jesus meeting with yourself. When you go to your wife, you know, like I had to around 2005 or 6, borrow $1,000 just so I could, you know, make payroll, which wasn't for me. That'll humble you up real fast.
A lot of the people that have really made it, they have been in the gutter. They've been at that, you know, the last $20, the last $100, the last $1,000, and they're like, I've got to make this work. And you guys, I mean, you guys did. Not only did you make it work, look at where you are now, and really congratulations, because we've enjoyed it. I mean, it's so entertaining. And, you know, I think at this point, looking back, we used to laugh because it was like, well, we already know he's going to sell it and this is going to happen. And even though at times we do know what's going to happen, it's still entertaining.
Well, and that's what I wanted to make it. I mean, the light bulb moment was I was laying in bed and I was looking for something to do. I just sold my printing company. And when I say that, I didn't make a lot of money. It looked like it sold for a lot of money, but there was a lot of debt on that company because printing presses are $1 million a piece and, you know, $1.5 million a piece. So it looked like a big number, but to tell you the truth, I've netted out like maybe $150,000. So I'm laying there with $150,000 and no job, and watching all the shows I liked to watch at the time, whether it was Jesse or the Orange County guys or, you know, Boyd or whoever was on. And I realized that my wife and my kids weren't in the room, and they were watching something else. And I was like, holy cow, I love this stuff. I know they love, you know, I especially know my boys love cars and stuff. And I just got to think about it. I was like, it's a little too much bravado. It's too much kicking boxes and cussing and carrying pit bulls on chains and shit like that. And I just had this weird idea of like, hey, they're missing the market. They should be selling to grandma and mom and the kids and, you know, hell, put a dog collar on their dog instead of a chain, you know, with the logo on it. And because that's the life I came from, you know, previously. And I was like, I think I can do that. And, you know, that's what we went for, was a family attitude. That's why you've never really seen any skirmishes in Fast and Loud. Sure, there's 8-9 guys sometimes in a room trying to make a truck, and hell yeah, there's fights and cussing and throwing stuff. But I just was very adamant about not having that on the TV. That's not what we're here about. And, you know, we're here to make a car. And I tell all my guys at the same time, they're like, guys, you aren't the stars of this show. I'm not even the star of the show. The thing we're making is the star of the show. It's what counts.
I mean, I literally was talking to a guy at work the other day, and he goes, I watched that show with my wife. My wife loves that show. So just like you said, the point of, you know, the fun family perspective, and you're going to have, you know, arguments and disagreements, and that's life itself. But to look back and think, you know, let's just say a 10-year-old at the time, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, now he's 22 years old. He's seen, you know, that whole thing, that whole perspective and what you've built, and it's been a fun ride.
Oh, I tell you, I had a kid come up to me just the other day, and his dad was like, yeah, he just got his driver's license, and, you know, blah, they're talking there, you know, and he goes, I've watched you my whole life. And all of a sudden I felt really, really old. I was like, please don't say that.
You're like, come on, kid, cut me a break here.
I'm like, damn, dude, your whole life. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Oh, that's a testament, though.
It won't be long before there are kids coming up here that say, you know, my mom here's a picture of me in my onesie when I was an infant, you know, and you know, that's only another 6 or 7 years away.
Yeah.
From when we started selling that. Okay, it's time.
Oh shit! You're moving fast. Yeah, I'm not that fast.
You gotta keep going, man.
Dude, I'm not that. Yeah.
Listen to me on Joe Rogan. We got hammered.
Oh yeah, you guys were, but you had the tequila, the cinnamon infused tequila, the Gas Monkey tequila.
You know, we had the beer, we had the tequila, and of course the other stuff's legal out there. So I figured if it's legal in the state I'm at, why not? You know, and So we got pretty hammered.
That's a new thing they're cracking down at work around here because obviously as a firefighter, you can't be smoking the ganja, and these I guess it's legal and it's becoming more legal in Arizona, so they're getting fired up. One of the notes that I have that was really cracking my shit up from you and Rogan was the Rogan Rawlings president politics. So you guys, you need to make that sign, at least if you don't run for president and vice president. Maybe if you just did like the banner, or you just did the Rogan Rawlings. I think for president 2020 or whatever the hell, I guess, yeah, it is 2020, I think. So yeah.
I think we got some stuff coming. You're hitting the nail on the head. We're just not ready to throw it out there yet.
I'm ready to buy. I'm ready at least for the shirt, maybe a few stickers, because I think there's some polarizing people there that between Rogan and you guys could change the world. I know weed would be legal everywhere. MMA would be legal, and there'd be no tax on all profit from cars or some shit like that you guys could pass that we would all enjoy.
Exactly.
Let's see what else I got. Well, you were a firefighter. So speaking of that, so something that I think is really cool that I think a lot of people probably know by now, that you were in public safety, both police and fire. That's talk about going back.
Yeah, my dad had 3 jobs every day his whole life. The whole time that from the time I remember my dad till I left home at 18, my dad pretty much had 2 and 3 jobs at all times just to make ends meet. Hardest working guy I know, and provide for me and my siblings. And so he always told me, Richard, I never want you to work this hard. And I wasn't a smart kid in school. I barely even got out of high school. So it wasn't like I was going to go to college and become a doctor, or something. And I figured that might be the best path. He's always was like, get a good job, get a city job, get a job with a big company with benefits. And I ended up getting hired on as a reserve officer and put through the academy for police. And I was going to apply for a police job in a town here, a suburb of Dallas called Coppell. And that's back when you had that big old giant packet. Everything wasn't on the computer. You had copies and copies and transcripts and all this crap. It was like 2 inches thick of copy paper, and I went in there to turn it in, and I look on the bulletin board, and they're taking applications for firefighters, and they'll put you through the academy. And I was like, well, hell, it's the same stack of paper. So I just made a duplicate copy and chunked it in there, and ended up getting one of 4 spots. And back then, I don't know how it is now because I'm just not in that market, but there was like 1,900 people tried out for 4 spots. And I ended up getting one. So they put me through fire school and medic, and I ended up spending about 6 years there. And it was fun, it was cool, and I thought I was doing the right thing. And then one day I was just, there's really nowhere for me to go up. And I've always been this dreamer, weird, extroverted kid that thinks he can go, make toy cars out of weed eater mowers until my dad tells me, what am I going to do? And I run out of cord. And so I just had to go find something else to do.
Yeah, that's we get a lot of guys like that. Do you ever go back, visit the guys, or say hi to the guys?
I used to. I don't anymore because most of them are retired. Most of the guys I know are retired. I went about a year and a half ago to who was my captain and most of my tenure, to his retirement after 41 years. He had been there a long time, way before I got there. And, it was good to see the guys. But they gave me a hard time. You're in the fire department. You know how it is. If you come up with an idea or you're going to do this or that, the funny part about it is from the day I walked into the fire academy, somebody named me Hollywood. And you know how it is. Once you get your nickname, you're not shaking it. And so that was literally my nickname the whole time I was doing that. And it's just funny how things turn out.
Yeah, for the audience, I mean, you get a locker room style, all the time, guys busting balls nonstop, and a nickname is one of those things that you're going to get automatically. And for you to get that nickname, it's probably no more fitting for a guy, and you probably embraced it anyways because you were, like you said, you were extroverted, flamboyant, and shaking it, good to go.
Yeah, and I never wanted to do I didn't want to advance because I liked going in. And so they were always like, "Oh, take your test. Be an engineer. Be the the next lieutenant, whatever. I don't remember even the ranks that we had, to tell you the truth. And I was like, no. I said, you guys only make a couple of pay grades above me, and that's not worth having to sit and do all the paperwork. I'll just sit back here and be the dummy with a hose. You know?
Now, is there, I think one time you told me, or I heard that now you had also been shot one time?
Oh, yeah. Bullshit deal, man. I didn't carry my gun, even though I could when I went out drinking and partying on the weekends, because I lived in kind of a rough side of town, and I just thought it was stupid. And plus, you know, to me, you can look at it two different ways. You can have a gun and make sure you're protected, or the other way, you can make sure you're just not going to do something stupid. And so I didn't carry my gun when I went out drinking and partying with my buddies. And sure enough, I'm coming home one night and stopped at a fast food joint to get a burger, and a couple of guys came up from behind, and I went right for where I always kept my gun in the crack of the seat there. And I didn't have it, so I threw it in gear and took off. And I will tell you, whichever side of I would have carried my gun or wouldn't carry my gun argument you're on, if I'd have had my gun, I'd probably be dead, because they were already shooting before I could have got it out of the car. And instead I was hitting the gears and I was gone.
That's intense.
Yeah, it sucked. It took a while to get healed and stuff, and it ruined a lot of nerve damage. And so I was off for about a year and a half. Of course, you know, being in the service, you can't, you not only have to heal, but they got to make sure you're psychologically correct to go back to work.
Where did you get shot at?
It came in through the back of my shoulder and went down my arm and out right before my elbow, because my hand was on the steering wheel. So my hand was kind of lateral across or horizontal, across the window from my seat to the steering wheel. So I got real lucky. It didn't blow up bones, and it was in and out, but it took a lot of nerves with it.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's intense. I mean, just to say that, you know, you've been shot, and it's pretty cool, because I don't think that's something that you say all the time, but I know that when you've been asked, you know, somehow either your book or somehow I remember hearing that, or again, like, you know, we've talked about your public safety career, as, you know, I'm in public safety, so we kind of have that thing where we're able to kind of look back and talk at some of those things, but it's a changing world. I'll tell you right there. I've been doing it for 22 with this city, and 24 total. So things are a little different than they were in the mid 90s. One of the things that I always like to tell the audience is, back when I started, and you're a few years ahead of me, was there's no airbags. So we used to have some gnarly wrecks, you know, just people, bodies, and, you know, crazy shit. Now cars are so amazing that, you know, you walk up on a car and you're like, well, that thing's crumpled up. There should be like 3 bodies. And you get out and there's a kid texting his mommy, and he's like, no, I'm fine. You're like, where's the driver? No, it's me. Yeah. And you're like, you were in that car, and that car freaking rolled 6 times? Yep, that's me. And you're like, you son of a bitch.
Yeah,
you're like,
they've done it, man. They've come up with some killer technology, but, you know, like with what's going on in the Kevin Hart world right now, what are we going to do as hot rod builders and what have you with adding technology, or especially safety technology, into these cars? They're not built that way. They're not built with crumple zones and collapsible frames and things like that. And I'm a little worried if some kind of legislation starts happening there.
So for the audience, just to update you what he's talking about, and you can probably know more about it than I do, but what they're saying is the cars aren't equipped to the safety. So do they get grandfathered in, or do they have to be brought to a certain level of safety compliance that we can drive them? And obviously, hopefully SEMA and all these aftermarket companies can get together and say not only no, but fuck no.
Well, the problem is it's California, and you know, they're all crying and everything over there and wanting to start all these laws and rules and whatever. And it's like, guys, that's where hot rodding came from. You know, the guys came back from the war and grabbed 32 Fords and put as much power in them as they could and all that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, think about his car. There's probably, you know, his car is probably safe compared to some of the cars. When you think about the old 32s and the coupes and the different things that are running around out there, you know, considering.
Oh, yeah, well, look at some of your trucks, man. I mean, that's just a big old giant box you're flying around in.
Yeah, for sure. Well, speaking of that, look at the famous Gas Monkey Garage square body and the damage that thing took from the wreck. I mean, you guys put square bodies on the map. Talk about, wreck, and thank God nobody was hurt in that wreck. But that truck has been bought, and I just watched a little YouTube thing. that he's getting ready to tear into that thing, so going full circle.
Torn in. What's his name? Alex Fields or something like that?
Yeah.
And he's been real cool to work with. He bought it out of the insurance pool. And so he knew exactly what he was buying when the insurance totaled it and what have you. And I mean, that frame is gnarlied up, but everything else is pretty good. He's going to need a couple of pieces of front clip. And I think it should just be a quick bolt and change over. Follow the puzzle's already built for him. He's just got to rebuild it.
Yeah.
And that was a great truck. I hated to see it wrecked. I mean, I really did.
Yeah, you guys, that was a cool truck. Just the way that you guys built it. It was at SEMA, and then I saw it out here at Barrett, which that's your home away from home. I know you said you really like Scottsdale. It did well. It got tons of press, and then why was it back with you guys again to get some work done?
Well, it sold it at Scottsdale, and that guy sold it. He was done with it, so he sold it back to me, and then I sold it to a client, and then that client loved it to death. He's bought about 3 or 4 trucks from me. And he was putting it on the trailer to take it somewhere, and he spun the ramps out from underneath himself. He was loading by himself, and it fell down and crushed right behind the cab where the cab and the bed meet, just demolished all that area. So he brought it into us to fix it, and we got it all fixed, and there was a couple of little knick-knack things we were fixing, so we were test driving it, and whammo, hit the wall.
Whammos, man. I mean, that's crazy. That's the new name for that truck, the Whammo truck. You guys build some killer Hot Wheels trucks, but we might have a Whammo truck now.
Well, I tell you, I mean, it's one of those things. But the guy Jeremy that was driving, he was a little nervous. He was like, "Oh my God," and I'm like, "Well, dude, number one, you're all right. Number two, we've been doing this since 2004, and we've wrecked 2 vehicles." I said, "That's pretty damn good."
Yeah, one of them was you.
Well, one of them was they hit us in the black Mustang, and the other one was the green and white truck. The one that was me that I told you about was just me jacking around off hours. I took out my own fence. I took out our own fence line with. We'd been here drinking some beers, and I told my wife at the time, this was about 6 or 7 years ago, I said, "Well, I better pull your car in, and we'll just leave it here and get a ride home." And I decided I'd do a donut because the parking lot was empty, and took out a brand new Maserati with about 400 miles on it. And that was her car and about 60 feet of fence.
You're probably glad the cameras weren't on, but at the same time,
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I did wreck that race car. That's right. So I got 3 cars, but the race car don't matter.
Yeah.
That's a dirt track car. I don't consider that a wreck.
What's the hardest part about being Richard Rawlings? C10 Nation, are you thinking about upgrading that motor? Well, PSI is your go-to source for LSX conversion wiring harnesses. They have been in the LS conversion business for 10 years, or I like to say, C10 years. They specialize in standalone wiring harness for GM Gen 2, 3, 4, 5, LS and LT-based engines and transmissions. Aside from harnesses, they offer components and kits for retrofitting older vehicles, PCM programming, fuel systems, engine sensors, replacement GM pigtails, and so much more. All harnesses are made with pride in the USA. In-house full-time technical support to help you with all of your installation questions, after-sales customer support, and a 4-wire hookup to make the installation process as easy as possible. For our listeners, go to psiconversions.com/C10Talk. psiconversion.com/C10Talk. Use coupon code C10Talk and you will get a free shirt and free shipping on orders over $250. Free shipping and a free t-shirt. So if you're going to switch out that motor and upgrade to an LS-based motor, you're ready to go with PSI. Hey guys, I've got Kathy White, Classic Performance Products, CPP on the line. Kathy, how's it going?
Hey Ronnie, what's up?
What's up? What's new?
We've got a ton of things for the C10 community. First things first, our 2.5-inch Extreme X10 drop spindle. So we've upgraded the current modular spindle to modern technology. This new X10 spindle is a one-piece forged, but it utilizes strong, modern, bolt-in, internally sealed bearing hub assembly. So it's low maintenance. It doesn't move the wheels out, and you can use big brakes from us or any aftermarket big brakes out there in the market.
That's awesome. What else is new?
So we have actually gone back and redesigned our aluminum fuel tanks. As you know, our fuel tanks are the thickest, strongest, and largest capacity in the industry. But now you can actually use the same tank for either a carbureted or a fuel injection application. 63 to 72, it's 20 gallons, and for 73 and newer, 22-gallon capacity.
How about that coilover kit? You guys must be killing it with that thing.
That is such a great kit. It's fully bolt-on. It's easy to install. Strongest tubular arms in the market, available with either upper and lower or just the lowers or just a coilover kit by themselves. All the mounting brackets that you need, and it also comes with dual adjustable coilover shocks. So it's really responsive. It's up to you however you want to tune the compression or the rebound. It's perfect if you're just cruising on the streets, and it's proven on the track.
Well, that's what we like. So if you need spindles, the new X10, fuel tanks, coilovers, they've got it. Classic Performance Products, CPP, and don't forget, use code C10TALK, C10TALK at checkout and save 10%. Thanks, Kathy.
Thank you, Ronnie.
What's the hardest part about being Richard Rawlings?
Fuck, man. You know what? It's always being on, and I get criticized for it by the guys that don't want to see it or don't care about it. And they're like, oh, that guy's just, whatever. But, I mean, these people come from all over the world. I mean, today alone, we had Portugal, we had Germany, Israel, Australia, New Zealand. I mean, and they don't know what kind of day I had inside running 7, 8 different companies. And if I'm in a fight with the banks or accounting or marketing or, what have you, whatever, especially the networks or production. And then I walk out and I have to just turn it on. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I could have just got kicked in the nuts and my puppy could have just died. And I still got to put on that face, and that's a hard thing to do sometimes.
Do you think that is also a good or a great way for you to escape when you are in the office? You're dealing with whoever it is that day that's, just maybe it's not going the way you want. You can walk outside and there's people lined up at the gate. I've seen it. And you're making their day. And I would think that like a dog, and I'm not saying they are dogs by any means. I definitely don't want to discredit anybody, but they're going to make you smile because they're so happy to see you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, sometimes I look at it that way, and I will take a moment and I'll go out and I'll take a few beers and hand the people at the gate and hang out and go. They're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not going back in there because I'm pissed off. So how's things out here?"
Did you say a couple of beers?
Oh, let's do it.
That just means I'm caught up. That just means I'm getting caught up. That's all that is.
Oh, you're just not catching up?
Yeah, I'm just catching up. I'm going to be behind. I got a feeling on that with you, but I want to make sure I tell the audience. So I'm up there about a week and a half ago on a Sunday, and the shop's closed. Well, the garage is closed, but see, we're moving. But people are there in the parking lot because the t-shirt shop and the apparel shop and everything is open. And so I'm in the garage part and we're talking, and you went out there, and I just think it's so cool. And I want to make sure, because I think at times you get a way worse rap than you probably deserve. But you made their day. I mean, to think they came from wherever, like you said, in-state, out-of-state, who knows? They're there on a Sunday. They're on a weekend. The odds of seeing Richard or any of the gas monkeys, the monkeys, and you walk out and you did not have to do that. And you did it, I think, at least twice. I know at least twice, maybe even 3 times. And over the course of the time that I'm there, but I just think it's so cool to think. And I think I said this to you and you kind of laughed and you're like, I'm not Elvis, but I'm just saying that at some point some kid has a picture of you and him from the time he was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. You made their day. You went out there. That's a pretty empowering feeling to know that you are putting that smile and making those people feel really good.
Yeah, but it's part of it. I mean, when I was talking about the light bulb moment, a while back, when we were talking about the kids and the mom weren't in the room. When I decided I was going to do this, based on that, and based on it being family, and based on it being an experience, above and beyond building the cars, I went and visited all the guys that were on TV. I really did. I went and got in my car or took an airplane, whatever it took, and I went and visited them. And I got to tell you, it was nothing like what you just saw with me. It was pretty rough. There wasn't much customer service, and it was, if it was available, it was buy a shirt, get the fuck out. You didn't get to see anybody or see anything. And that kind of cemented my idea in my head. And I said, okay, that's the route I'm going.
So why do you think, and I don't know, maybe you don't think this, but I think you're pretty, speaking of the fire department, we got a CO alarm going off. What do we need to do here?
Oh, no, they're drilling or whatever. They're working on the OBS, dude. Haven't you been watching the net?
Oh, I've been watching. Well, let's get to that. So let's talk a little bit about the OBS. So this week, you kicked off the OBS. You're doing a truck, in 1 week, 5 days, and you're going to tear down, what year is that thing? It's like 96, 97?
No, it's 91.
91, okay.
My guys? Yep, 91.
So you're tearing down a 91, and you're going to do it in a week. You're going to paint it. I saw the frame. I mean, the frame's already done. It was like, I even posted it, and somebody's like, already? Like, you guys are moving and shaking. Texas Speed, you went down and got the motor. What's your thoughts on this thing?
Dude, we're killing it. I mean, and we're short some guys. We're down to 5. And so we've got, and one of them is kind of the parts runner too. So I'd call it 4.5 people on it. But we drove it in Monday morning at about 8:30. It was a one owner, 33,000 mile original truck, super clean, super nice. And we tore it all the way down to the frame, bare frame, cleaned the frame, painted the frame. We painted all the entire truck now. I'm staring at it right now. It's armed with full ride tech suspension, huge wheelwood brakes, Budnick wheels. We'll do the Budnick steering wheel. It's kind of doing a throwback build, but with the modern technology that we have now, as opposed full 4-link system with coilovers all the way around. We've got a motor from Texas Speed and Performance at about 675 horse. It's a LS3 based punched out 454. And forget who we use for the training, but I'll find that out here in a second. Cabs back on it, windows and door handles and all that stuff are going back on, all new rubber. I mean, we're literally turning every single wrench on the truck. We've got a custom Aeromotive just came out with their kits for these trucks, and we have their pilot or test one, if you will. And we will be running and driving this thing by beer time on Friday. So far right now, we've 12 hours first day, 14 hours the second day, and right now we're staring at about 10 so far. So that's 26, 36 hours is what we've got in the truck so far, and we're on all fours and fixing to hang fenders.
The problem is beer 30 on Friday could be really early for you, Richard.
I know, right? That's their problem.
All right, so they're flexible, but Friday you're going to have it on the ground. What a cool build. What a cool process.
No, on the ground. We're driving it.
Well, driving it on the ground, yeah.
We're driving it, and these guys, I can't praise them enough, so to speak. I mean, I have a world-class set of guys that I will put up against anyone. Can somebody do a little bit better custom? Can somebody do a little bit better this? Sure, but in our time frame and with the teamwork that we do, it's unbelievable. I've been begging the network to do a car build off type series, but throw two teams in with the same thing. Okay, you both got 91 short beds that are roughly one owner and have low miles on them. Do your damnedest. You got 20 days. I mean, we're fixing to do it in 5.5.
Yeah, you guys are doing it in 4.5. To be honest with you, at the rate they're going.
Well, 4.5 is what I'm in, but 5 tops. I fully expect that we'll be driving this truck Friday night.
Yeah,
and I don't mean just driving it like it moves under its own power. I mean, I'm hoping we're going to do a freaking rip and burnout.
Well, what a great, when you think about that. So what you're doing it on social media. Now let's go back. I mean, 8 years ago, there was no social media. I mean, there was no Facebook, there was no Instagram, there was no Insta Wiener this, nothing of that. And now what you've done is you've not only taken the brand and you have parlayed that over to, we're watching Gas Monkey on the phone right now.
Yeah. And I think it's awesome. I mean, quite frankly, when Fast and Loud was doing Killer on Discovery, let's call it 2014-ish, 2015, a good night's viewers would be maybe around 2.1, 2.2 million eyeballs, and 1.1 or maybe a 900,000 in the demographic. Now you're lucky if you're a good show, like I believe we are. You're getting about 1 million in the overall people watching, and you're hoping for a 300,000 or 350,000 people in your demographic. And that's how they measure television. Whereas we've already had like 600,000 views total on just the first 6 or 8 minutes of Monday morning when I said what we were going to do. And since they're watching it on our channel, arguably they're in our demographic.
Yeah, good point. And they're if they're not, they're coming over to that demographic because you're building, and the fluidity of it when you get to build and pick, from like your Rivy to the square body to the OBS to the Mustang to the Hot Wheels Corvette. I mean, you have so many things that you're going to attract so many people, and you're doing it right in front of our eyes. And social media, I assume at one point probably felt like it would hurt, but it's actually helping, and it's continuing to just grow.
It killed me in the beginning because it was growing in the beginning. And, there were times in the early 2000s, let's call it 5, 6, 7, where if somebody said something on the internet, well, my God, they must be intelligent because they said something on the internet, and therefore it was taken as gospel. Now everybody knows that they're just talking shit or blowing off steam or whatever. But back then, I mean, there was a few comments and a few threads in the 2005-6 range that cost me TV deals. They backslided me. They cost me commercial deals. They a lot of things, because even the big companies, the giant parts stores and the giant clothing stores of the world didn't understand what they were working with either. So they were just like, oh my God, somebody out there said that Richard's a bad guy or Gas Monkey's a horrible thing. So it was a rough time right then. And now, thank God, we're past it, and nobody, unless they really know who they're getting their news or information from, they just don't really pay attention. But I gotta tell you, I love the haters. Reading some of their shit is so funny. It like cracks me up.
Do you actually read
awesome.
it?
And you're going to get a little bit. You're going to get no. Don't. I always have my people bring you the really funny shit.
Yeah.
Or the really, really people that are so passionate that you literally think they're just going to like come unglued. And you're going to get a little bit. I appreciate you having me on your show, but they're going to be like, oh, we fucking hate that dude. Blah blah blah. Gas Monkey's bullshit. Da, da, da. You've been here. You've seen it. We're real. And I invite everybody to come by, have a beer, and hang out, because we're just like everybody that's listening.
Why do you
building cars?
Why do you think that is?
Burnouts and drinking beer.
Well, why is it? Why are you so misunderstood? Whether it's Gas Monkey, Fast and Loud, or Rich Rawlings, why is that? What the world we live in?
I put a lot of thought into it, and I think it's a combination of, there's always somebody that's going to bitch because they can hide behind the keyboard, and then there's also the world we live in, and then there's the success or the perceived, whether it's one of my mechanics, they get it too. They come in upset sometimes, like, oh God, somebody said something about my welds, or somebody said that. Like, dude, fuck them. You're doing it. Did they do it? Did they show pictures of theirs, how better it was? They're just talking crap. But we're never going to get away from it.
Yeah.
We've given, with the World Wide Webs and all the social, we've given the opportunity for everybody to hate. And it's like I tell people when they ask me about going out, we talked about it a minute ago, going out and shaking hands and taking pictures. Well, if I was to just walk out, like I've seen other people in my position do, and not say anything, get in my car and leave, well, they're going to tell everyone in the world how bad of an asshole we are.
Yeah. And
you suck and everything else. But if I go out there and I take those pictures, they're probably barely going to mention it to their friends unless their friends bring it up. They're going to be, oh, yeah, he was pretty cool. I took a picture of him. It's like a double standard.
Well, it's absolutely.
And we need to control that crap, on the net, because it's causing problems with our kids. I don't want to get political, but that bullying shit, those kids need to be bullied. They need to be thrown off a bridge, actually, whoever's doing it.
Well, unfortunately, there is no accountability. People sit behind, I mean, even with, my podcast and different things like that, people, they talk shit. They hide behind the keyboard warriors. And I love your approach on it. You gotta love the haters and embrace them and let them fuel your fire. One of the things, and I'll send you the link, and I'm literally thinking about getting this tattooed on my body. It's been my oath from being a young man and a high school coach telling me this, but essentially, Theodore Roosevelt, it's called The Man in the Arena, but you're in the fucking arena and you're doing it. You're in the arena, and the guy is sitting up in the stand, or the haters and the keyboard warriors, they're in the stands. And when you're in the stands and you bought a ticket to watch the dudes in the arena, then you don't get the right to just talk shit. And that's what people do. They're up in the arena, they got their keyboards, and they're just talking shit. And guys like you and your guys and the monkeys, they're down there, they're doing it. I'll be honest with you. I've interviewed Aaron. Aaron's a friend of mine, and he the same. People talk so much shit, and you're like, dude, everybody, it's just like crazy that people just continue to talk so much shit. And unfortunately, there's really no recourse online and Facebook and social media, and it's tough.
Well, I just ignore it. I mean, we very rarely respond unless we have a funny quip, and that's maybe 2 or 3 times a month. The rest of them, we just ignore it. We don't block them, unless they get to the point where it's bothering the community in itself, because we're just not that way, and let them do whatever they do, because odds are, if they're passionate enough to be paying attention and to be fucking, bitching about what we're doing or talking crap about what we're doing or who I am or who they are or whatever, well, let's face it, they're a fan because they're watching.
Yeah. Yeah, whether they're watching for whatever reason, but I would think, and you kind of alluded to it, but I would think back there was a point in your life or in the success of the show where that transition to social media and the availability of the commenting back and forth, there had to be a time where you were like, dude, these guys are dicks, like it's almost frustrating. But to hear you now say, I'm over it.
Away. I literally did. I almost walked away. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I mean, just constant freaking people just being negative, or what?
Yeah, we had some negative when the internet was first starting, and we had one guy that just really, really annihilated us to a point, and it turned out that he had a mental disorder and lived in, I believe, his sister's basement or maybe his mom's, I don't know, and there was nothing I could do about it, And I tried to run away from it, and I tried to stay away from it, but it just kept coming back, kept coming back. Back then, it was all about, what do they call it, reverse marketing or negative reverse marketing, where if somebody's making news for anything, you try to talk shit about it so that you're getting better rankings in Google. Of course, that's more controlled now, and back then it wasn't. As long as you were getting pinged, good or bad, you were getting pinged. And so it was just a bad gig for us back then.
And like you said, you can't control it. So when you can't control it, you never know what the hell's going to happen.
Well, you just now it doesn't even matter. I mean, they come out and say whatever, and we just kind of laugh it off. We've got a team here that has to handle it because we're getting thousands of emails directly a day through info@gasmonkeygarage.com. I mean, just thousands. Some of them are negatives, most of them are positive, and then usually several hundred are offering us cars and motorcycles and trucks and whatever to buy. So we're currently buying probably around 25 to 50 cars a month that you don't even see on the show.
Do you even have to look up cars anymore?
I do. I've got a habit. I've got my recipe I do every morning. I usually wake up right now because I'm getting old, got the hot flashes. I'm like 50. I wake up about 4 in the morning, and I kick through about 4 or 5 of the sites I like to watch, and then I go back to sleep for a little while. Then when I get to the office, I kick through the rest and what have you. But we do get a lot of leads. I will tell you that for a while, the internet was a heyday. If you knew what you were looking for and knew what you wanted to buy, and that's kind of leveled off now.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to sneak up on anything at a swap meet or the internet. Everybody knows what it's worth, and a lot of the times the guys or gals that own it think they know what it's worth. They're like, well, I saw one sell on Barrett Jackson for $70,000. I'm like, well, yeah, but yours is green and it's a 4-door.
And that was completely restored, and they lost money at $70,000.
Hell yeah, you can't tell some of those guys that. They're like, well, that thing only sold for $70,000, and you want $200 to restore mine? I'm like, yeah, it takes that much time and hours and everything else.
Well, do you think
of course, I may be pissing off a lot of restoration people right now because we're fixing to build one in 5 days.
That's true. Yeah. Well, if you have the right recipe and you've proven that you have the recipe, do you think that your formula has changed? Or, I mean, within reason it's changed because you used to be able to get on Craigslist or shit. Think about the Auto Trader. We used to have to wait till Tuesday. I knew what time the Auto Trader was coming out, and we'd go, for us, it was Circle K, and we'd go to Circle K and you'd grab that thing and shit, you'd call and you'd be like, nope, already gone. You're like, how the fuck is that already gone? I just called you.
No, I had it better than that because me and my dad, through newspapers, and back then you had a morning paper and an evening paper. And by the time I was probably 7 or 8 until I was 17 and a half, I got up every morning at 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning, went through newspapers, and then had to go back home after school to get back in the car and throw newspapers again. I'd sit in the back seat and roll them and put them in the front seat for my dad. And I did this for all of my childhood years and teenage years. And so I had the paper before anyone as far as the regular classifieds local. And then because of that, I learned where they were printing the Auto Trader. So I got my Auto Trader hot off the press, usually 2 days early.
Yeah, that's the key right there. You were handpicking that selected stuff because, man, I tell you what, I called a few times, and you're like, how the hell is that gone already?
And they're like, somebody called me yesterday, and it was usually somebody getting off the press or whatever. And then we had, being a newspaper guy, just like a mailman. That's the other thing. If you're hunting cars, you want mailmen to be your favorite guy. Buy them beer, buy them shots at the bar, whatever, because they know where everything is.
Don't be giving out all your secrets, man. This is for off the air stuff. I got another one for you. I'll tease the interwebs a little bit here on this, but your local power guy, because they go into a lot of houses and a lot of backyards.
Your freaking linemen. Your linemen know where everything is too.
We got a couple of linemen here, and he knew every truck in my neighborhood. I live in an old school neighborhood, and there's probably at least 10 C10s just in my little neighborhood, and I know where that. And I said one. I go, hey, that one's been parked back there, and we get irrigation, so we get flood irrigation, and I think the rims are practically rotted off this. And I mentioned it to this guy. He fucking knew exactly. He's like, yep, I know where it's at. And I'm like, God damn, you guys know where all this, because in the fire department, we go in the back, back of yards, we go to people's houses, but we're into a select district, right? We don't travel all over the state or the county where these linemen, they're all over the place.
Yeah. I usually put out a little bit of information to when a big storm hits. And you're gathering linemen from all over the nation, and they're going to wherever the storm hit. And I let it be known I'm looking. And I pay a good finder's fee. But I'll tell you, I busted my guy's balls the other day because we were building this OBS, and a few of the guys have OBSs. And I said, I think I saw a short bed GMC 95, 96 on my street, or a couple streets over, just kind of sitting halfway in the guy's backyard. And they're like, oh, you need to go look at that. And so I sent it to the shop the next day because I bought it. I went and knocked on the door. And they're like, oh, my God, this thing's perfect, no rust, perfect bed, blown motors, the only reason it was sitting there, one owner guy. And it's a nice-looking truck, a good project truck to start with, no dents, no repairs, never been painted, none of that crap. And they're like, man, this thing's $3,500, $4,000 even with a blown motor. These things are coming up, blah, blah. What'd you get for it? I said, $600.
Oh, my God. It sounds like you snuck up on them.
Well, it was sitting there, and I went and knocked on the door.
Yeah, I guess if you don't knock, what do they say? For every swing you don't take, it's a miss, because you got to take it. What do you got to lose?
Exactly. And speaking of losing and not taking swings,
I think that might be 4 for you. I'm on 3, so I don't know. You probably have a stack there.
Yeah, you're on your third. I think I'm 4, but I also started at lunch, so I'm a little ahead of you anyways.
Yeah, that's why beer 30 for Richard's a little different than for Ronnie, but
it depends, because it depends on what mood I'm in and how much we have to film. Beer 30 sometimes has been 6:30 a.m.
The other day when I was out in Texas, I think I texted you, and you're like, no, actually we did talk, and I'm like, I think it was Friday, and you're like, I don't know, I've been drinking since 5:30 or 7:30. I thought I was gonna have eggs. I had beer, and I've been just running with it the rest of the day. So you were on one of those days, and that was a couple Fridays ago.
Well, no, that was Friday because we were talking about doing it. You know what actually ended up happening? I don't know if you watched some of the social where I said I was in Minnesota.
No, I don't think I saw that. Where you were up in Minnesota.
So,
okay.
It was Thursday. I get a call about something and said, "Hey, there's a big nest here." And so Friday, I shored up the call and I got some pictures. And it turns out that a guy I bought a car from before in the past, his dad grew up with another guy since the '60s. They've been friends, the two dads, and the one guy ran a motorcycle graveyard type operation out of Minnesota forever, since the '60s. And he'd been collecting cars and motorcycles, and he was kind of known as the guy that would never sell, right? He's not going to sell that stuff. I mean, he'll sell the stuff a mile down the street at his place, but the stuff at his home is unbuyable. And I guess that the kid had talked to the guy that owns it and said, hey, I know that gas monkey guy, and, he might be interested in a few of this. And the guy goes, well, I'm 80. I'm thinking about getting out of it. And this is cutting edge news, by the way. When you do play this has not even been released because I wasn't going to release it.
Okay.
But what the hell? What the hell? We're drinking beer and having fun. So I literally jumped the plane Friday after I talked to you, Saturday morning, and I went straight out there and visited the place on Saturday morning. And it's like 200 pristine motorcycles, every genre, everything in the world. About 30 or 40 cars, a bunch of trailers, 3 or 4 buildings that all these things are in. And this is not like barn find stuff. This is nice buildings, metal fab buildings like what I live, what my place is, and a barn and a house and a 4-car garage and everything. And we ended up making a deal. I was looking at a couple of the cars and a couple of motorcycles, and I now own it all, including the land.
What?
Yes, it's insane. He was like, Richard, I've been doing this my whole life. I got another place in South Dakota. I'm 80, and me and my wife were just ready to go have some fun. And I said, well, dude, if that's it, I'll take it all, And so we struck a deal. And I'm going back next week to start inventorying everything. But I mean, there's collections of kids' toys, there's memorabilia, there's signage, this is a guy's collection that's massive. I mean, if I had to guess at how many individual items there are, I would say 6,000 or 8,000.
Damn, son.
It's a big deal. And you've heard of Vanderbeek Auctions, right?
Yes.
The ones that do all the... Okay, so I've already been on the phone with Reba Vanderbeek, and she's going to be handling it for me. And I told the guy and his wife he could live there till... when is it? Maybe next spring. And I'm thinking about next May, we'll open the doors and we'll sell it all the walls.
This reminds me a little bit, and I'm assuming that Lambrack thing where that guy had all those cars, about 6 years ago. So you're gonna go through, I assume, you're gonna handpick some that you want, and then from there you're going to auction the rest of it off?
I'm actually not. I'm in the business of doing this, so it goes wall to walls as found.
There's nothing that you had to have.
Well, to tell you the truth, I looked at it so quickly, and we ended up, I was only there for about 5 hours, 6 hours. I'm going to go back next week for about 3 days and really take a look. But right now, I would say the answer is no.
Sounds like Richard needs to move to Minnesota. Get no busy.
Way, dude.
Get working.
I'm gonna just sell all that stuff, and then hopefully everybody that's into each different kind of genre and different thing gets a good buy, and hopefully I made a smart decision and made a couple of dollars, and off we go. But it'll be the first ever gas monkey auction.
Yeah. Would you say that that's your biggest, the biggest risk or biggest move you've taken?
Monetarily wise, it is definitely the biggest move I've made. Risk wise, I don't know. I think I'm okay. I mean, I think I'm okay for 10 or 20%, hopefully. but it could go worse. You never know in an auction, and you never know. It takes two people to make an auction, so if only one guy's standing there, you're not going to make much money.
Well, that's such a great point. And if you, for the audience, you look back over Richard's, the way that you've been to so many of these auctions, and sometimes there's only been one person at the auction, and whether that's through you doing a build and us watching it and hoping that it sells for more, whether it's the haters and they hope it sells for less and they took out the second guy, because we've seen you agonize through some of these where you've lost and you've made plenty of money right in front of our faces, but we've also seen you lose, and sometimes that's what keeps the TVs on and the cameras on, because it's that personal emotion and we get to see the struggle. And honestly, you're the front man of it. You're the guy sitting there and, running your hands through your hair and just being like, God damn it. It didn't do what we thought. We were hoping for a second guy. We needed that second guy to really kick that auction off.
Well, that's the big thing is a lot of people don't know. I mean, there's rumors out there on the net that I've had a silver spoon and I got helicopters and I sold some tech company and all kinds of stuff. But, I don't carry debt because I got into bad debt when I was young and it took me forever to get out of it. And so when we lose, that's cash. It's rough. And when I first lost on TV, Discovery didn't want to play it. They were like, well, that's not our show. You have to make money. And I said, no. I said, do you make money on every single show you put on TV? And they're like, well, but and I said, no. I said, I'm in business. There's wins and there's losses. You just hope you have more wins, and you got to learn to get off the losses as soon as you can.
Well, and for them, it's entertaining. So they're going to make money off the entertainment because people are going to keep coming back to see.
Yeah, but they literally didn't want to show it.
Yeah.
They did not want to show me losing money. They were afraid to.
But why? Because you're a business and they feel like people, they've changed their tune now because that's the entertainment value now. I mean, for real.
Yeah, well, it's Discovery. Let me tell you the dumbest thing in the world and why I wish that Fast and Loud would have evolved over the years, and it's still kind of stuck, but I think I'm making headway. The head producer, executive producer at the Discovery level sits in a cubicle and drives a Chevy Volt, and he's in charge of all motor television.
You better build him a car, bro.
Dude, I've offered to give him one. I'm like, this is embarrassing. You're my boss at Discovery, and you wear 5-day-old freaking dirty khakis, and you got a coffee stain on your golf shirt, and you drive a Volt?
You need to switch jobs with him. I want to see Richard run the automotive part of Discovery, and then let him. That might be the new reality show. We might have you guys switch. You and let's call him Ted or Trevor. You and Trevor are going to switch, and we're going to let talk about a change. That's some good TV right there. Richard's now in charge of programming for Discovery.
Well, no. I tell you what. I actually told him a long time ago. We were in a little bit of a tiff because I stand up for my brand and I stand up. What's different than me and some of the other people, I'm not going to say all, but some of the other people that are in this world of reality motor type television, they want the check. They want that episode check. I never wanted that. I'm building a business, and so Discovery has never been able to understand that I'm building a business. I don't need a paycheck. I need to build my wares. I need to prove what my brand's worth, and I need to make it expand. And they just don't know how to handle that.
So how do you convince them? I mean, I think you're an amazing salesman and a marketeer. How do you convince them that it's not just the brand, it's the TV, it's the product. People keep coming back for this shit. They want to watch what we're doing, the wins, the losses. It's no different than CBS or ESPN showing an NFL game. There's a winner and a loser. If Richard happens to win, on a car or lose on a car, that's the drama. That's the naturally made drama.
That's what it took, and I finally won on that, but I haven't won on a lot of the other things. It's been a difficult struggle.
Do you get tired of fighting?
It gets better.
Do you get tired of just fighting about it?
Well, we don't really fight, but we disagree, and I try to prove my point, and then, somebody that's sitting in a cubicle or that's been promoted to some power position is afraid to risk the fact that they have to make their Jelly of the Month Club payment, and they won't make a freaking real decision. I mean, I'm not kidding.
I don't know. We need to.
Not kidding. Do you know that I've worked for Discovery for 8 years, and someone from Discovery has only been to Gas Monkey Garage twice? Do you know that I've worked for Discovery for 8 years and I've never received anything like let's call it a birthday card or a Christmas card from Discovery? I received one time from one of the people that work there because I voiced that. And it's not that you expect that, but it's like, my God, I'm a major portion of your viewing audience in this particular genre. And it's amazing to me what they forget about the little guys that are out here putting the eyeballs on the TV sets.
Well, it's a family. I mean, if you look at it, you need to treat it like a family, and you give your brother, your sister, your mom, your dad, your cousin, you give them a birthday card, you send them a Jelly of the Month, maybe a craft beer, maybe a case of Miller Lite, whatever it might be, because that's what life's about. I mean, that's truly what it is, and the level of commitment by not only you to them, but them to you. Yeah.
I do that. I've always done that, and it just cracks me up now. I guess the corporate world of the world that I'm in reality motor type television, it's the most insane, archaic thing you've ever seen, so I guess I'll just put it out there. If anybody's getting courted for a television show, please give me a call. I'll give you all the knowledge that I can give you so that you can make a good decision. At the end of the day, I probably should start, Richard's Consulting, because man, they go and promise a whole lot of stuff and they never deliver. Never deliver.
Well, I'll be honest with you.
That's why you see the shows change so much, and that's why you see shows fail, is because, A, they're promising a bunch of stuff, so the person or business on the other end is hoping that is planning on them coming through, and I never did that. I knew going in that they weren't going to do shit, so I spent all of our own money. I mean, everything that Gas Monkey could make, I put right back in, and just made all those things come true.
Yeah, and you talked about some of the trials and tribulations at the beginning of our episode, and I assume that that's exactly what that is, where you thought or hoped, and then you learned, and then you had to borrow $1,000 to make payroll and make ends meet, and those were the lessons that you learned throughout the last 10 years.
Oh, dude, I'll tell you how bad it is, and this goes back to my brand new consulting business that I just thought of. Richard's Consulting is open. But anyways, when they first sold the show, when I first got the show sold, all of a sudden it was a hurry. It had taken forever, and I was like, what do you mean they're buying 6 episodes? They're like, yeah. And the production company, Pilgrim, is like, oh gosh, we got your show, it's going to be great. And I said, cool, give me a month or so, let me get everything together, let me get my shit together, let me figure out how we're going to make it right. Oh no, we start on Monday. This is like 5 days away. And I'm like, I can't do that. Next thing I know, there's a group in my little shop there that you saw at the beginning, and they're like, oh, this lighting's no good, this lighting's horrible, we'll never be able to make a good show in this lighting. And so I'm like, fuck, what do I do? What do I do? And they're like, well, you got to get some lights in here. And I'm like, well, what kind of lights? And so they tell me, you got to get this kind of fluorescent things and this, and we need them here and here and here and here and here. And I'm like, well, fuck, I guess I got to do it. And so I got to make a good looking show. So I spent $17,000 that I did not have on an emergency lighting setup to make this happen. I mean, and by then I'm dead broke. I'd damn near given up on anything, and I was trying to find another way to make a living. And, so I did all that. Well, 3-4 years later on, I'm into it. And there's all these beautiful lights in my building. And I look around, I'm like, wow, there's all this cool shit. And it turns out that the production company had all the production dollars to put lights in my building and send down a grip truck with all the cool stuff to put in the building and make us look good or make it look the way they needed to look for the TV. But the guy running the production company wasn't going to do that. So he just decided to tell me that it was going to look like shit or I was going to fix it. So instead of spending his money that he was getting from Discovery, they spent mine. So I've learned a lot. down the road.
To think back and think about that old shop, and then when you bought or leased into the new shop, and then how much you've expanded the new shop, it's pretty crazy to think that you were in that little dinky shop, and you and Aaron and I forget the one guy, the Sparks guy.
There's Casey and Scott.
Well, what's his name? Not Scott, not Casey. Bigger guy that went over to the Sparks, the other guy, the Misfit Garage. The big old dude.
Tom?
Yeah, Tom. Tom was there all the time. Yeah, Tom. Tom was like goofy funny. I mean, he was so funny. Speaking of that, I mean, Casey, you've went through some guys. Are you and I'm just going through some of the questions. Do you think you're a hard guy to work for? C10 Nation. Let me tell you about my buddies Travis, his dad Jack, aka Dad, and Nick. They run Pro Performance, AZ Pro Performance. They're active in our community. They're C10 guys. They're always working on new stuff, like their new suspension line, React Suspension. They're master dealers for AccuAir, Dakota Digital, Bear, Boyd Welding, Vintage Air, and many more. They're C10 specialists and stock many fast-moving products backed by their stellar customer service. Not only do they sell C10 parts, but they live and breathe C10s and are very active in our community. Like I said, look for them at your next truck show. Nick might be there if they let him out, but usually Travis and his dad, Jack, and they want to talk to you and help you out with your C10 project. Follow them on Instagram, Facebook, and you can also check out their Facebook group called C10 Addiction. So check them out and let them know that I sent you. You've heard me talk about my gauges, Dakota Digital. I love them. Don't forget the interior of your build. Dakota Digital has the best gauges for our trucks. Whether you want a direct fit into the stock bezel or something custom. These kits are complete with sensors for any engine. The new RTX series is really incredible. I think it stands for retro, but it should stand for rad. They look just like the stock clusters, but have all the technology you'd expect from Dakota Digital. You can change the lighting colors, customize the reading in the message centers, and do it all from the mobile app. That's right, the HDX and RTX series have Bluetooth technology, so you can mess with them from your phone. Just don't do it while you're driving. I mean, literally, I can have Yellowstone. I'm looking at RPM, trip odometer, percent fuel, oil pressure, and now I have the GPS set up. I can tell you direction, elevation, and even outside temp. Damn, son, it's like a modern truck, but even better in a classic. Dakota Digital is absolutely the best in aftermarket gauges, so check them out at dakotadigital.com. dakotadigital.com. And you can follow them on Instagram and Facebook too. Do you think you're a hard guy to work for? Because I feel like you're a workaholic. I don't think that, I'm not saying you are a hard guy. I'm just saying, are you a hard guy to work for? Do you have a high expectation?
I don't really think so. I really don't think so because I'm a fair guy to work for. And I always look at the situation with taking personalities and everything aside. I've had a lot of people. I've owned many companies that I've had a lot of people go on to be very successful. And I'm very proud of that fact. I mean, they've gone on to be their own business owners and employ lots of people. But I rule everything by committee. I don't ever sit down and go, this is the way we're going to do things. I've never done that. I've always sat down, if it was just me and Aaron, or if it was me and Aaron and 5 other guys, or me and my guys now, I sit down and I go, what is the best way to proceed here, guys? And everybody needs to speak up and give me your opinion, and I'll fight for my opinion, and then we're all going to come to a ruling. And that's the way I've always ran it. No matter what business I was in. And I feel that's the best way to run it. But, we'll see at the end of the day. So far, it's doing okay. But I think I'm a good guy to work for. I'm fair. Everybody that's been in this position, working in hot rod shops and repair shops and things like that, you've missed checks. You've missed out on, bonuses and things like that. I've never missed a paycheck for an employee, even if it meant that I didn't eat.
That's commendable. I mean, what else? To think that you're a democracy, because, we don't think that. I mean, I don't think, I just look at, you're the boss, you're Richard, you're running the shop and you're the boss. And so you take the input of the guys. And I'm sure over time, there has to be decisions made spontaneously where you've done decisions, but to hear that you take in consideration what the guys are thinking, seeing, smelling, doing, and then they're always getting paid. And in today's world, that's a good thing.
Well, it's always been my motto, and it's always been my thing with regards to, and the guys that are building this OBS right now, if they were on the phone, they'd tell you. They told me what they wanted to do. They told me how they wanted to do it. I gave a few of my opinions on what I remember old school OBS as being, and we went at it that way. And then once you're in a situation and you're following a path, I'm very reluctant to change the path. A lot of times something will come up. Well, we could do this, or well, we could do that, or there's a better idea, or there's a problem. And I'm like, no, stick to the path we have, figure a way through it, But then again, at the same time, you come to me with a better idea, a better mousetrap mid-build, it's pretty hard for me not to pull the trigger. I'll be like, okay, fine. We need another 10,000 for this. Okay, let's do it. I measure it very quickly. Can I get the money back out? Or is the juice worth the squeeze from a marketing standpoint or from a television standpoint? And then we just do it.
You've made a lot of really good decisions. Do you have one or two that you look back and say, I wish I wouldn't have done that?
Yeah, but I'm not allowed to tell you what they are right now.
You're divorced already. What do you got to worry about?
I will tell you, they're not personnel based at all. Everybody that's been through here has served their purpose and done great. A lot of people think that, there's bad blood with me and Aaron and what have you. I don't feel that way at all. I think Aaron's a great guy that helped me. I wouldn't be here without him, and he wouldn't be where he's at without me. So I think we did what we needed to do together. And, my team here, I love to death. And everybody that's been through here, I have a general respect for almost every one of them. Even Tom. He's just Tom. He served a purpose at the time. He was a funny old country coot. And then, we got another show with him and had 40 or 50 episodes. So, I can't complain.
Well, and you have another show that we get to watch in Garage Rehab. That seems to be going well. That's fun.
It's super cool because we really are getting to help these guys and girls and or families that have these businesses. It's one of the most rewarding things I've ever done. And, I've got a new show coming, actually, on top of that, with Disney Plus. When the streamer starts in November, I think they're going to start my new show. It's already filmed. It's in the can. It's called Shop Class. And it's basically a shop teacher and two shop students. Let's call it 11 or 12 to 15 or 16, years old. And it's kind of we give them a task. We give them the materials and tell them you have to do X. And it's not necessarily building a car or building a motorcycle. It's everything containing robotics, pneumatics, electronics, any kind of technologies that are out there, whether it's woodworking or welding or, claymation, you name it. We put them to a task each week, and the team gets voted off, and then there's ultimately a full winner. And I'm really excited about it because not only is it going on Disney Plus, it's getting the kids into it. I would love to build a Fast and Loud Junior Edition show if I could.
So will you be the host of that show, or how are you involved with Disney Plus?
I'm not the host of that show. I'm the creator, and my company, Production Monkey, is the executive producer. And so we're real stoked on it. And it's going to be a cool show. And again, going back to the family element, if you're watching Fast and Loud and you got kids, and you're going to want to watch this on Disney Plus because it's kids doing really cool stuff.
Do you find that because you are an extrovert, you have Fast and Loud, you have Gas Monkey, you have Garage Rehab, you have this show, Shop Class, is your brain just constantly just cranking? Yeah.
I've got like 4 shows I'm pitching right now. And we're trying to get development deals on them. It's a pain in the ass because most of the time you're dealing with suits that don't even understand. They just understand Matrix. They just understand TV. Doesn't matter if it's TV about coffee beans or motorcycles. They don't care. They're just looking at a Matrix. And most of the people that are making a decision about the show they're going to put on TV don't even know what the hell that TV show is. I mean, they don't know anything about coffee beans or motorcycles. You know, they're just making a decision. And that's the hardest part, is they're not passionate. They're not into what they want to be into, or what they're representing that they're into. There's not.
I'm being extremely facetious, at the same time, extremely honest. I truly do think if they did a series or an episode where you took over and we could see it, I know that's probably not going to happen, but talk about amazing TV, reality TV, and just watching somebody who is passionate, who is charismatic, who is entertaining, say, listen, this is what we need to do. We need to have a board meeting, and we need to, bring some Miller Lite in this thing and shake this thing up, because this is what real people want to see. It's real people that are out there turning the TVs on.
I'm trying to do that. I've pitched so much of that I'm almost blue in the face from doing it. I'm trying my damnedest, but they have a recipe. They're going to stick to it. And we've got a weird market right now where cable's kind of dissipating because they're losing money to the streamers.
Yeah.
The streamers aren't really making any money, but they just have a lot to spend. And then the networks are trying to duplicate everything that the cable companies are doing, because eyeballs are eyeballs. How it's going to shake out, I have no idea.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of things that could make reality in general better. The recipes are a little old and look at Fast and Loud. I love Fast and Loud. It's the way I make my living. But we're just going to buy a car. We're just going to take the car to the guys. We're just going to have the guys tear it apart. The guys are going to put it together. The wheels are going to go on. The motor's going to go in. It's going to get painted, and then voila, it's done. And it's a little boring. I mean, it really is. I've tried to change it for 5 years, and the powers that be are like, nope, this works. I'm like, yeah, but wouldn't something else work really better?
It's ironic because you just got done saying how you like the state of the plan, but then you're presenting a change. What would you change? If you could change one thing with Fast and Loud, what would you change?
I would probably say that Fast and Loud needs to evolve into a little bit more of actually how much we do, because you don't get the essence in a 1 hour episode of what we did. That's why I'm doing this thing right now in 5 minutes, 5 days.
Yeah.
And so I'd like to see that evolve into, this is what really happens. And then let's jump back with something else that shows a little bit more, a different show. It shows a little bit more of the finding and the picking and the talking to the old guys, because they've made it so much about trying to have these 4 or 5 recipe points that if you go back and watch the show, it's not, to me, as interesting as before, where I'm sitting around and I'm digging through a barn and I'm talking to the guy that owned the car for 30 years and things like that, because they took the time away.
Yeah,
the budgets are going away. When we started the show, it was 3.5 weeks. Now it's 2.1 weeks per episode. And that is quick.
What about now? I agree with you. I mean, I think going back and watching you do what you did at the old man's house, or when they take the barn door up or they lift the garage door up, and you're like, this car's been sitting here for this TA, whatever it is, this Camaro. Have you now with social media, now with YouTube, now with all these other entities? If you have Fast and Loud, you have the show, but then you can log on to Fast and Loud or gasmonkey.com or whatever it is, and then you can see some of that B-roll and see those other things happening. That provides a whole nother entity for you, your fans, and the outlet of the guys doing the work, more of a tech-based from that perspective.
Exactly. I mean, you want to know the silliest thing in the world? I've been pitching to Discovery forever. We have 160 builds worth of B-roll. Or cutting room floor roll, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Why not go back and throw that together for 10 or 20 episodes of what really happened, what really did transpire? Because there's a lot of voila moments that the audience gets to miss out on because they don't have enough. They only have 42, 43 minutes right there to cram it all in. And it's like, wow, the exhaust is on. Well, they didn't know that it killed us for 2 days. and we ran out of material, or we did this or that. And I think that you could make a substantial other run of just showing what really happened, behind the scenes.
100%. And I tell you what, the diehards would love to see that. They'd line up and it would refresh. And then what would happen is maybe if you didn't see that episode, then you'd go back and watch that episode, or want to, because you have so many different ways to stream old school TV. Not that you're old school at this point, but that tech would come through.
No, I'm freaking old.
Well, we're old. We're not that far apart, so let's be careful. I don't know how we're doing on time. I got a few more for you. I'm just honored. We're having a blast. I appreciate it.
We're talking like an hour and 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. You got your iPhone watch on there. You're killing it, because I'm looking at it and it's.
I don't wear an iPhone watch. Are you freaking kidding me?
I know you don't.
If you catch me with one of those, you are welcome to hack it my hand off.
That's the whole point. You got some blingy, jewelry watch or something. A little different, than what I wear. I don't wear that. You can't be wearing that kind of shit at the fire station. I might rip a finger off or something.
What do you got next? We're fixing to break in and start doing shots, and you're like 4 beers behind.
No, I'm only 1 beer behind you. I need to probably go get another beer. Let's see here. One thing, okay. Are you a car guy or are you a marketing businessman?
Oh, I'm a car guy first. I always have been. I mean, I've been buying and selling cars since I was like 14, especially with, like we talked about, having a paper route and stuff. And, so that's where my passion came from. I became a business guy, in my 20s and 30s, and I parlayed that into being a business car guy, so I think that the path I took kind of led me to exactly where I'm at. But at the end of the day, I want my 68 Mustang and my 32 Fords, and I don't give a shit about anything else.
Well, you said it. So if you could keep one, that's obviously the easy question for me to ask. You could keep one.
My 68 convertible. They've got a big sale going on over in the Middle East next month, and I sent 16 cars over, and they begged me to bring the green and white 68 Shelby, and I was like, no way. And they were even talking serious numbers. Like, they go, we will let you put a reserve of $500,000 on it. And I said, I'm not taking.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I'm just not doing it. I said, it's my car. It's part of my soul. I've had it for a long time, and that's the way it is. And then my 32 Roadster and my 32 3-window, I wanted those cars my entire life since I was a kid. I used to draw pictures of those with crayons. So I just won't get rid of them.
Yeah, and again, back to us being over there a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago, Richard's got them right there. We got to see them. We got to check them out. Pretty rad ass collection. You're going over to Saudi. You're taking a few cars. That's something that I'm getting ready.
Everybody's going.
Oh my God. I know I've got a couple guys that I'm going to interview that are putting it together, and it's stressful. Are you not stressed? I mean, am I stupid to be that there's some stress there?
Well, I sent probably $2.5 million worth of cars that I had in inventory over there. And that's our inventory, and inventory is cash.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, Gas Monkey doesn't carry debt. And so if it goes bad, it could go real bad. If it goes good, hopefully we come back with, like I said, 10 or 20% profit, and everybody's happy. If it goes bad, it could suck real bad. But everybody I know is going. Chip's going, Chris Jacobs going, Ken Dick's going, dude from Dub, dude from West Coast Customs, Jimmy Shine. I mean, Courtney anybody you can name is going.
Yeah.
And they're having a SEMA type event there along with the car show and along with the car auction. And SEMA drags in about 170,000 people during that week through the doors. They're expecting 250 to 300,000. So could be close to double the amount of people.
I had not heard that, but that's it's crazy. I think it's one of those things where everybody's going to be watching that first year. This is the first year for the audience. I should have Boris and Gary hopefully on after Richard's episode. They're talking, November 21st through the 27th, 28th. heading over there, and it's going to be huge. What I heard was it's a 5-year lease, 5-year agreement, 5-year thing that they're looking at. And they're going to have vendors. They're going to have over 250 different car automotive vendors that are going over there. For example, Vintage Air. And they're going to have a whole setup. And it's going to be SEMA, Saudi Arabia. I mean, it's going to be pretty crazy shit.
Well, if anybody needs Vintage Air, it's freaking Saudi Arabia.
That's a great commercial. Oh, shit. Speaking of commercials, probably the reason why we're connected, primarily is my truck, Yellowstone. Are we able to, because obviously my audience is going to want to know what you're doing with it or what your plans are. Can we talk about that? It's a great idea.
I can't really release the players, but I bought that on a gamble.
Okay.
On something that I was asked to do, and it fit the bill very, very well. It's still up in the air and hasn't been decided yet, so I don't know if my gamble paid off. If not, Yellowstone might be back up for sale.
Yeah.
But it was the right thing, and I love that truck. I'm actually trying to arrange some time where I can take a couple of monkeys, and I'd like to trek it back from Phoenix to Dallas once the weather cools off a little bit. The way I look at it is I can sit in the back, and if we break down, they can fix it, and I can sit there and drink beer. So it's a win-win for me.
Well, it's got Vintage Air, and you might need to pump it to the back to the camper. But if it does stay or need to be resold, obviously it's right here in our backyard in beautiful Scottsdale. But we could talk about all that later. I think it's a fun truck.
Well, I've got a real, I'm newly engaged, here recently, and I have a lovely new bride to be. And I was single for a very long time, so I've got a really, really good Scottsdale black book that's up for sale. I highly suggest it if you have the means.
Yeah, you need to. That goes back to Richard's the company that you're going to start. That's another office. So in Suite 101, it's, hey, you want to start a TV show, you go in the door, you're met by Richard. In Suite 102 or 101.5, you go to the back door and you get some black book numbers or some correspondence there. So there's a whole business plan here that you need to work on, and even better is we make that happen here in Scottsdale. So a guy comes into Scottsdale, he has to be here. He gets the number. We'll
just do it at my favorite hotel at the Valley Ho.
The Valley Ho is a good one.
I actually go there. I spend about a month a year at the Valley Ho there in Scottsdale, and I have for probably close to 10 years. When you count Barrett Jackson for 10 days and you count a couple of weekends here and there, it just adds up. And I love that place. And I also, when I am going to make a big move, probably the last 5 years, I get, my friends and my confidants and people that I trust, and we go there and we spend a weekend. And we just sit in one of the conference rooms. We rent it out, and we drink beer, and we have a couple of note takers, and we try to figure out what the next move is, And then by the end of the day, up on the big whiteboard, whatever we're talking about is staring you right in the face, and that's the next move.
For the audience, the Valley Ho is very popular, very rad, old school, like 50s. It's been redone, but it's old school. So I think next time you come in, if Yellowstone's still in storage here, by the way, in the agreement, I think it's $100 a day storage at my house, but we could talk about that later at the Richard's Consulting. I took a class at Richard's Consulting. I learned that if it was a $100 storage fee per day, but we could waive that for a few weeks. But I think I'm going to just drive Yellowstone up to the Valley Ho and just park it there. So if they don't have any vacancies, then somebody can just stay in Yellowstone.
Yeah, we'll just put it up on Airbnb or something.
Well, you have to go through Yellowstone to get to the Black Book correspondence. Dude, you're rad, man. I really appreciate your time. You have a lot of things going on. What's the 5 year for you? You've rode this pony. It's the pony's still healthy. It's still a good looking horse, but I just see you moving and shaking so much. What's something that you would like to accomplish, or something you see in 5 years when you look back and you're like, all right, 2020, 2019, we're right here. What's going to happen for Richard in the future?
Well, I think it's going to become even more so a world economy. The social media has become a worldwide, communication effort, and it's jamming. And I think that the economy is coming that way big time. And I think the next step is you got to see what the other people are into and why they're into it and what have you. So I hope in a few years I'm traveling the world and learning what, whatever country is into whatever cars and why and what the different sects are, just like, and I said sex.
Yeah, I was going to say, did you say sex?
Speaking
of that black book.
and just see what's going on. I even said that wrong. I might have had too many beers. But anyways, I want to see somebody be on TV and talking about what's going on. You roll into any country in the world and there's still going to be the lowrider guys and the moto guys and the cafe racers and the muscle cars and they may not be the same we have here. The only thing I can say is don't go to Cuba because it's the same 32 cars in every freaking picture. There's not the wealth of cars that everybody thinks they have down there. Let's go to some other countries and see what they're really into.
C10s. They like their C10s. They like their in Saudi, at least what I see is they like the long bed steppers, like 3/4 tons. So it'll be interesting to see what all shakes out over there and then really what shakes out for you in the future. The OBS thing continues to be a success. Unfortunately for this show, that will have run its course, but we'll obviously repost it and continue to support that cause. Dude, just a lot of things. I can't imagine how busy your day is. You make it look easy.
Well, every beer makes it a little easier.
That's the truth.
Are you trying to open another beer? Because I just finished mine. I'll do it.
I have to actually walk to the fridge, but I'll do it. No, I mean, I can walk over to the fridge and we can have one more and then wrap it up. What do you think?
I didn't even know we were allowed to get out of the fridge. I've been standing in the fridge the whole fucking time. Bullshit.
Well, that's part of the class. This guy Richard. Okay, hold on. I got to walk over to the fridge. Hold on. We're putting it on. We're putting it on mic.
We're putting it on wax. It's a new style.
All right, let's see her here. There you go. All right, let's take it home.
That sounded like Diet Coke.
Oh my God, you've seen me. I need more Diet Coke. Well, you did see me make the 36 5/8 jump. You were supporting on that. That was pretty cool.
That was absolutely insane.
Dude, we've already had a few people repost it.
3.86 inches.
You could. What we should do with you is just have you jump off the top and then go backwards, and then you've got enough connections that you could just make it look like we will reverse it, and then you would just be jumping up. Really, you'd be jumping down.
Somehow I'd hurt myself, dude. You're talking to a 50-year-old guy that's never been in a gym, never ran, never worked out, never stretched. I don't do anything. I chase the ladies. Well, I used to. Now I'm engaged, so I don't do anything anymore.
Well, I got a feeling because I've met your fiance, and she's
awesome.
She's awesome.
Unbelievable.
She is, and I got a feeling that she is going to get your ass to the gym.
Well, let's just suffice it to say that I'm getting my workouts in.
You're getting your heart rate up, is what you're telling me.
Oh, I've got that going.
Now, you were married for like 20 years. How many kids do you have that you know of until the 23andMe comes out?
Sue and I were together like close to 20 years, and we took a little break and just couldn't get apart from each other. But she had a kid, Sinjin, who actually runs my social media department here at Gas Monkey, and he works for me. And then my son, I had previous also, he actually works for her at her home healthcare company. So it's still a family dynamic and what have you. So I had one, she had one, and we talked about getting them. And then and this is the God's honest truth. She goes, well, maybe I just want a little Yorkie. So I showed up about 2 days later with a Band-Aid on my ball sack and a Yorkie. And I was like, we're done.
Was the Band-Aid from the Yorkie? Did he scratch you or you just got cut?
No. I went and got clipped. Figured if I was going to make the young Yorkie do it, I might as well do it too.
Oh, dude, that's pretty cool. So how does that work? I mean, you're together that long, but you're still obviously have a great relationship. And we were out there. One time I was out there a few years back and I met your ex, and she was just as nice as could be as well. So you obviously have a great relationship with her. Your son works for her, and it sounds like her son works for you.
Yeah, exactly. No harm, no foul. Nice gorilla. realize your strengths and your weaknesses, don't get caught up in the small stuff. Just pay attention to the big picture. And I couldn't say any better things about my ex, and I couldn't gush more over my new girl. She's absolutely amazing.
Well, that's good, especially because she's your new girl. Texas, you've got trucks, you've got cars.
Hopefully last girl.
Yeah, hopefully for you, as long as she's giving you those workouts that you need. Now, one thing that was cool was when we were out there, she's a car girl as well. That's pretty rad.
Yeah, but she's like the expensive new car girl. She wouldn't know her way around an old car, but yeah, she likes the new stuff. She's got a race, a Rolls Royce race, and a 488 Spider Ferrari. So it's good in them. That's what I would say.
I think she looks good no matter what she does. But again, she's very nice. What if you could build? What's something that you haven't been able to build that you want to build?
Well, the car that I want, the one that I don't have, is a Lamborghini Miura, and I'd give up just about any car I have, including the green Mustang, to have a '69 Lamborghini Miura.
Why this car drew you in so much?
It's just it's as much of a piece of freaking art as it is an unbelievable driving machine, and it's just perfection. And they sell for $1 to $1.3 million, and I firmly believe that they should be a $5 to $10 million car, and I think they will be, especially with a lot of the art collectors. They're paying $100 million and $200 million for pieces of art. They're starting to realize that the machinery of the automobile are pieces of art, and that's why you've seen Ferrari sell for the $20 and $30 million range. And I think you're going to see the Lamborghini Miura move up pretty quick. If I had the money, I'd go buy every $1 million to $2 million Miura I could, and wait.
We just gave you not that anybody in my audience is going to have that kind of money. Nobody
I know has that kind of money either.
Well, I think when you get done with this auction, now we're thinking this auction, you're thinking maybe spring of 2020. Once you get done with that auction, you need to make that happen because you're going to make some money.
Well, we got Saudi Arabia happening, and then we got the one in Minnesota happening, and then we'll see what happens as far as there's still a Lamborghini Miura sitting out there somewhere. So if anybody's listening and they know where it's at, call me. The last one I found in the barn was $800,000, and I just didn't have the money, so I had to let it go.
So if you found another one that was $800,000 or $1 million, you'd buy it today if you could?
I don't have it right now, sir. I'm stroked out until Saudi Arabia's over and Minnesota's over. I'm tapped.
Yeah, you're putting your money where your mouth is, though. I think both of those are going to do fine. The economy's good. Saudi's going to be killer. Obviously, if you've got 15 plus cars going over there. Yeah. So you're thinking spring of 2020 for the Minnesota Madness?
Yeah, it'll be May for sure, because April, they got killed this year, so I'm not going to take a chance on that. I'm going to go all the way into May. And there's a little bit of something for everyone. There's some trucks there. There's everything. I mean, it's pretty impressive, and we'll start releasing pictures and getting all the press deal going. Probably not till January or February, just because right now it'd be a waste of time.
Well, I think the key is when you hear Minnesota. Now, one thing that Minnesota is really cool about with Arizona is you have like sister cities or sister states. Arizona, the metal's dry, right, and the interiors are roached, especially on C10s, square bodies for sure. Well, I know guys here in Phoenix and in Arizona that literally have relationships with people in Minnesota because their interiors are phenomenal, but the metal's all roached. So you put them together and you've got yourself a killer truck, a killer interior, I'm sure a car as well. You're saying
Phoenix Soda.
A Phoenix Soda. That might be a new car. That's the third company.
I just bought that .com.
You trademarked it. It's a lot better than Mina Phoenix. I'll tell you, a Minix. Yeah, I'll see you in 10 minutes over here at Phoenix Soda. So that's the third company for Richard. I'm assuming you're saying, though, that these aren't out in the field rotting vehicles. These are indoors taken care of vehicles.
Yeah, no, these are in climate-controlled climate-controlled buildings with cement floors. They're dusted off. They're clean. This is not crap by any means. And this is stuff that not a lot of people have seen. He just doesn't sell stuff. This was his private stuff. It was the stuff he had fun with. And He's a super cool cat, super smart, super sharp. And he's like, dude, I'm 80. I'm done.
One thing, I'm going to take you out on this. I'm looking at this 1969 Lamborghini Miura because I honestly didn't really know what it looked like. I know what a Countach looks like because I had the poster. I mean, I remember I moved from Montana, a little dinky town in Laurel, Montana, and I moved to Mesa, Arizona in 1987, 7.
That's when I graduated high school.
I know, man. That's my brother. I think you and my brother are the same age. He's born in 69, so you're probably 68, 69er. So
I'm 69.
There you go. So I remember the first time I laid eyes on a Lamborghini Countach, and it was white. And I'll never forget. I know exactly where I was standing, and I was just like, I'm so glad we moved. Because in Laurel, Montana, you don't see a Lamborghini Countach. You don't see one in Montana at all, right? Well, maybe now because they get some high rollers over there. The point I want to make as I look at this 1969 Lamborghini Miura, to me, the first thing that I think of, now you tell me because you're a car guy, I mean, big time, is I think of Ferris Bueller. Now I know that's a Ferrari, but I think of that car and I think of those lines and I think of that old school class and I look at cars of that era and I think of a female body. I think of the curves. I think of the body being stretched out and that woman's ass. And I mean, I'm a guy. And so some guy built this car. Where I'm taking this.
I'm sorry, did I get switched onto a 900 line? What's going on?
That's the fourth company. So we have Richards Consulting, Blackbook.com, Phoenix.
900 cars are sex.
Phoenix Soda, and then 900 Lambo Miura. The point I want to make, and it's actually so complimentary to you, and for my audience to understand this, I see you being at the mixer, the Catalina wine mixer with this car. What's amazing about you, Richard, is, and I think this is a testament to why you've been successful in not only your show, but in life, is you will meet and greet somebody who lives in a trailer, somebody who drives a beat up old Datsun, somebody who drives a C10, and somebody who drives a Lamborghini Miura. How do you transcend so many? You literally, you make that parallel. You're able to do that. I mean that as a true compliment.
Well, thank you. And a way that I look at it, I don't even think about it because we're all just people. We're all just hanging out. We're all into this automobile and motorcycle thing that we're into, and it just comes natural. I don't really even think about it. I mean, if a guy or a girl is into the same stuff I'm in. If the girl's into something that I'm not into, I'll listen.
Depending on how hot she is. If she's in Scottsdale between January 15th.
She's in Scottsdale, she's hot.
Yeah,
I promise you.
That's true.
Scottsdale, Nashville, and Dallas have the best percentages in the world. But no, seriously, thank you for the compliment. But I just look at it as we're all into the same thing, man, no matter where we come from. And I think the whole world's into that. That's what I want to see happen is, there's sects of the world that we haven't even begun to scratch the surface of in the reality genre as far as traveling to different countries and really seeing. And you can find it on the net if you really know what you're looking for, but it's so limited. You have to know what you're looking for as opposed to I'd love to bring it to everybody and let them see it and let them know that, hey, so what if there's whatever country that has their own private little car company and they make them into monsters, whatever, they're twin turbo 1-cylinders that are freaking, who cares?
Yeah. I mean, you think about the UK and you think about the boats and you think about everything. Take me out. What's your legacy when you look back and you talked about this guy that you bought the Phoenix Soda, Minnesota Madness. When you look back and you're 80 and you're going to, you and your bride are going to go off into the sunset and you're going to enjoy those years and enjoy the fruits of your labor. What's Richard Rawlings' legacy?
I don't really think of it as Richard Rawlings' legacy. I think of it as Gas Monkey's legacy and the fact that I've been able to share this with the world. I've been able to show it to the world, and I hope that we inspire the kids that are coming up and get them to get their fingers dirty and get back into it. And, as far as legacy, golly, you know, our boy Gene Winfield, you know, if I could be revered in even the same hallway as that guy, he's 90-something years old and still out there doing it, and I hope I am too. Yeah,
that's pretty. You're paying homage to a tradition, to a man who continues, you know, and I think that you're absolutely right. And if there is an automotive hallway and there is an automotive hall of fame, whether you like it or not, brother, you're going to be standing with a Miller Lite and you'll be in there. There's no way that you're not.
Well, I hope so. I just hope that we get the young ones included in it and we keep this whole thing going and what have you. We don't want to end up like Idiocracy.
Exactly. That's a whole pun on itself. Totally. Stay on the line for me real quick. Richard, you are gracious with your time. Thanks for taking time to sit down with not only me, C10 Talk, C10 Nation, and really, I'm sure there'll be a lot more people that have no idea about C10 world and C10 community, but that'll tune into this because they'll see Richard Rawlings. There might be some love mail, some hate mail, some whatever mail. But again, thanks for being a rad dude. Thanks for taking time to chill with us and be on the show, brother.
Yes, sir. Bring on the hate mail. Show us what a fucking idiot you are.
Yeah, let us know, and then I hope you break the bank in Saudi. I may be there to drink a beer with you. Thanks, brother.
Mm-hmm. That's all, folks.